The mashups on Hits 1, Ryan, Stan, and Nicole. And this is very exciting because, well, we get to welcome back Zayn. How are you?
I'm really well, thank you.
Very good. Thanks for coming in.
No worries. Thanks for having me.
You smell delicious, by the way.
Thank
you.
you.
You changed. No, you really did. You changed the whole room in here.
I appreciate it.
It's funny because Ryan is he's been having a rough time because his cologne that he was addicted to has stopped being made. So he's been on the hunt for a new cologne. So that's why he's a little bit more.
What was your favorite cologne?
Oh, it's Paris Hilton Air.
Oh,
or Air by Paris Hilton. Yeah.
All right, nice.
Do you have like is this the one you wear all the time?
This one I'm wearing at the minute. It's Hugo Boss. I usually switch it up, but yeah, I'm big on cologne.
Yeah.
I like to smell nice.
Like based on what you're doing that day, or how you feel.
I'm feeling, yeah, for sure. Or even just the time of day. Sometimes, more fresh scent for the morning. Something a bit more sultry on an evening.
I mean, are we gonna match this up with whatever our outfit is? Also, whatever.
Yeah, maybe,
Okay.
probably, yeah.
Okay.
There's a little bit of that going on, yeah. But I ain't got that many aftershaves to choose from, to match specific outfits with them. But
All right.
I try. I try to smell good.
You did a great job. So enough about cologne. Your album "Room Under the Stairs" is out. How does it feel?
It feels great. Yeah, it was a long old process writing the record and going through life experiences and trying to actually have them be genuine rather than it being like a false thing. Like I've got these amount of songs I need to do and this is the finished project. So it feels good to have it out, and the feedback and response from the fans has been amazing. People really understand it, I feel like, and they get it. And that was, my apprehension at first. I didn't know if people would understand because it's a different genre, but it feels like it's been positive so far. So
yeah,
I heard you say that when you were writing it, you wanted it to feel like you were sitting beside somebody explaining to them how you feel right at that moment.
For sure.
Did you picture the same person, or did you picture different people for each song?
No,
or how did
just whoever's listening at that moment, for them to really feel like I was just talking to them, It wasn't a specific person in my mind that I was imagining, but I just felt like because of all of the experiences were so close and near to my actual life that people would find some relatability in that and it would mean something to them too.
It's seriously a vibe. It's been on just repeat the whole album for me since it came out. I really, really like it. I also feel like this is going to be the first time I go to the beach, this is what I'm going to be listening to.
Nice one.
Is when you're writing or making music or any particular song, are you thinking about what the vibe is going to be or what where you want the listener to be or what when they're listening to that song?
Yeah, definitely. I think that happens naturally. Like as you're making the song, you kind of envision where it will be played and where people will listen to it. For me, this record felt like it really fit in the car. Going on a journey somewhere and just listening to this music in the background works because I feel like I was inspired by the scenic environment I'm in and, just driving around PA and stuff, playing it in the car. It feels like it fits there for me.
Really does.
Was there, or which song on the album was the quickest for you to write, that came out the quickest, and which one was the one you struggled with the most?
I don't feel like I really struggled writing this record, in any sense. When I had the sentiment, it kind of just came real fast in the studio when we were in there. I'd say the easiest for me was probably Gates of Hell. It just came out real off the tongue.
I really, really like that one a lot.
I appreciate it. And that was the sentiment behind it too. I wanted it to be real frank and just, raw. And then I guess the song maybe that took the longest might have been Future Seat. It was the last song that I did on there, and it's a bit of a different vibe. But just because of the way that song's organised and stuff, it might have took a little bit longer. But I usually do things pretty fast, 2-3 hours.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, that's really quick.
Yeah.
We're at Morning Mashup on Instagram. Zayn is with us, and Room Under the Stairs. There's definitely a country vibe to it.
Oh my gosh.
That's there. You recorded the album in Nashville.
Uh-huh.
In England, you don't have towns with 3 country radio stations in every single town. You don't have country music.
Do you have even one?
I think we have maybe a couple. But
Yeah, but you don't-
it's not,
you
it's
didn't
not a
grow
major
up on it
thing.
like we
yeah,
did.
no, for
So
sure.
where-
it's probably, you know, word of mouth. You hear a song from somebody who's listening to it, you know what I mean? But they don't really play it on the radio.
So what was that introduction for you to that kind of music, and what is it that sort of drew you to it to make
I
it?
think where I'm living, you know, I spend a lot of time, you know, in front of a fire outside, you know, campfire vibe, playing with the guitar, and you know, just kind of hanging out, and that environment leans, you know, to that kind of space where that music just kind of glows in them places. So I was listening to a lot of Chris Stapleton. I've been listening to a lot of Willie Nelson, and just getting into that kind of vibe out there. So I guess maybe in the last like 7-8 years, like it's become a thing, and I've got a whole newfound respect and appreciation for that genre of music and the lyricism and storytelling that takes place there.
It's really interesting that you just said that, because when I was first listening to it, I was going for a walk and I was like, I thought maybe my playlist changed, because I was like, this sounds just like Chris Stapleton, who I think has one of the most incredible voices
For sure,
in the
yeah,
industry.
hands down, yeah.
And it's just a vibe, man. I mean, I feel like it's chilling music. I feel like it's baby making music. I feel like it's so awesome and it's so different. It's not what I expected. I think what anybody expected. So you should be so proud of yourself. It's dope.
I am, thank you.
And I love that where you're living sort of like helped, you know, inspire it. Is it true that you like to like garden and do all that? I mean, I feel like since you've been living out there, you've sort of been living a completely different life and picking up different things.
These things are always like, you know, deeply rooted in who I was. I just didn't really have the environment to, you know, exercise it. And that was the intention behind moving out there. You know, I wanted to like reconnect with what felt familiar to me and, you know, where I grew up. My grandma was always, you know, in the garden growing things, and so was my mom. You know, they're very house proud people. We're domestic creatures, I like to say, and we enjoy our home space. You know, so I wanted to get back in touch with that, and I feel like I have. So it's been good for me, I think.
Go ahead, Ryan. Go compare your gardens.
Well, no, because I love to garden. Actually, later today, I'm going to put my tomatoes in.
Oh man,
So, yeah.
so I've got my tomatoes in for a minute. So hopefully we'll get some. We should have some sprouts when I get back.
I love it.
Yeah.
So you can't write all the time, or you can't be creative all the time. Is there one thing that you do that's sort of like the anti-creative, that just shuts your brain off and you know you can relax and not think about anything?
Yeah.
And you'll be rejuvenated when you come back?
Yeah, definitely. I have a lot of different hobbies and things I like to do, you know. I think it's really important to have them things because it helps you refine skills in other areas. And so like, I love to paint, you know, I love cooking, I love gardening. And I feel like all them things teach me different things about my art, you know, when I'm doing them, especially painting, because I'm able to like reach this place of focus where I can just fully zone out and, you know, just concentrate on one thing rather than a million things at a time.
I feel like a lot of artists say that. Like if you're an artist, like a musician, like you can kind of dip your toes into everything. Like paint. I feel like a lot of people say that they like to paint or do all different types of art. I feel like a lot of people have that sort of thing in common.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a common thing, but I
like
experience it. Yeah, I like to mess around with all different art forms. I think they all tie into each other. Yeah.
You know, I just wanted to share a lyric that I love, that I feel very drawn to. I am the mom on the show, and this lyric just made me, I wanted to cry, and it talks about that. I see your mother's shine in your eye. I know that you're mine, and I'm crying, telling you the things that are on my mind when I think of you. The whole, I hear that, I read it, and I want to just, I want to cry. So, like, where were you? Tell us more what that is about, how it makes you feel when you hear it back.
Yeah, no, I just feel it's pretty, you know, self-explanatory what I'm talking about there.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Yeah, I was thinking about, you know, looking at my daughter, seeing her mother's reflection in her, and you know how that made me feel. Yeah, I feel like, you know, the sentiment of the lyric is pretty straightforward. You know what I mean? You know, I'd cry telling you the things that are on my mind, it's true because you feel this overwhelming sense of love and connection with your children if you're a good parent. You know, I wanted to stress that in that song, and you know, show the connection that I have with her has shaped me and changed my perspective.
Is writing like therapeutic to you? I feel like this is where you might like work out things.
For sure, yeah. I think that's the beauty about music. You know, you get to really reflect on things and look at it, you know, from an outside perspective, looking in on yourself, and that works in a therapeutic space too.
when you're writing music that's so personal, time changes you. So you write about how you feel in that one moment, but can you think of a song that you wrote it and when you go back and listen to it now, you say, I don't feel that way anymore?
Not really. I think the feelings are always constant. The perspective changes, like there's things that I don't feel as harshly about anymore, that in certain moments when I was recording, I definitely felt them more intensely. But I feel like feelings, always stay remnant everywhere for sure.
Yeah, I feel like sometimes, like, I don't know, I feel like those feelings would come back up when you're performing it, which could be kind of dangerous if it's like certain songs, right?
Or you can use it to your advantage, and make
That's
the
true.
song sound incredibly emotional.
Right.
So, yeah.
Zayn's with us. If you just got in a car, you can go back and listen to everything on the SiriusXM app. But one thing that we do here is that every guest that comes by leaves a question for the next guest.
Okay.
And so Hannah Einbinder, who stars in Hacks on Max, she wants to know, when you come to New York, where do you eat?
I eat at a place mainly called Carty Roll. Don't know if people are familiar with it, but they make like chapati rolls, like with different stuff in them. Like you can get chicken, egg, all kinds of different stuff. It's very Indian.
Is that something that you know how to make?
Yeah, I can
Yeah?
definitely dabble in that department for sure. Yeah, but they do it a lot better than me for sure.
Do you cook like for just family, or will you have like a bunch of friends
I like
over?
to cook for a lot of people.
Okay.
Like I enjoy that. Yeah, if there's a lot of people around, like cooking for myself gets a bit lonely sometimes. I'll be honest. I'll just go for a takeout.
It sucks. There's
Yeah,
there's
you
like
said that.
you want to show off for other
Exactly,
people.
Yeah, you want to be around people. It's a community thing, right? Like sharing and doing that together is a nice thing.
What are the chances we get you to go on tour?
The chances are pretty high.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm getting straight back into rehearsals as soon as I can, and I'm going to get a show together because I really enjoyed the Shepherd's Bush gig. The response from the fans was amazing. So I want to feel a bit more of that love,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does it make you nervous? Because I just feel like even sometimes like when we're away.
I think I was nervous before that gig.
Okay.
Like, because it's been a long time.
Yeah.
But it was also excitement, like it just this built up, like.
Yeah.
Expectation of what it's going to be. But when I did it, it seemed to go real quick, like blink of an eye, and I was like, maybe it's a little bit fast. We could have stayed on there a little bit longer. So I've still got the hunger for it, and I'll be very excited to do it all sometime soon.
I think
I'm not allowed to say soon anymore.
Okay.
But yeah,
Did your people just give you
we
the?
will give you a day. Yeah, like, no, my fans. It's not my people are cool. It's the fans.
They're
Like,
impatient.
you're not allowed to
Yeah.
say soon. You said soon, and you went missing for 8 years. So you have to
That's
give us
fair.
a specific.
You
day.
get that.
Yeah, I fully understand it. Yeah.
Well, after you're back after 8 years, what is the one thing you think that you missed, sort of like going out and doing promo and showing everybody new music?
I think I missed performing the most. Yeah, like it just felt good to be back on stage and doing, what essentially I loved so much as a kid. Being on stage and performing and making music is the main thing in my life. So to reconnect with that feels great.
When you're home behind or around the campfire and your guitar's there, is it a performance every night?
No, it's chill. Yeah, like I'm just like probably just like singing, humming to myself. I'm not having like a full-on performance, but as you were saying before, you were like, you don't get full time to always be creative. But I try to make that time. Like in a day, just go do something, even if it's for 40 minutes to an hour. Just do a bit of writing, listen to a bit of music. No, I'm not always performing in front of everyone around me. I'm just in my own world, chilling.
You've had quite a journey. I mean, your story is just nuts. I feel like you should probably write a book one day. But are you one of the people that like looks back and is like, I would have done that differently. Like I regret that. Or are you like, oh no, that's part of that. That was that part of the journey. That was that chapter. And if that didn't happen, whether it was good or bad, I wouldn't be where I am today.
Yeah, no, I think it's good to have a healthy balance of both. You know what I mean? I think you can always look back and regret, and be like, oh, I should have done this differently. But the truth of it is, you don't have that kind of control. You know what I mean? There's no such thing as a time machine. You can't go back and actually physically change it. So it's probably better to think to the future and think about how you can be present and how you can make, your future endeavors be, more rewarding.
Do we have any tattoos yet from this album or anything that is a tribute
Not
to
from
it?
this album yet.
Okay.
No. Yeah.
Are we going to?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I've got tats for all the other ones.
Okay.
I've got Icarus. I've got Nobody's Listening. So
Nice.
Yeah, I'll plan on that.
Do you have enough real estate? Do we have enough room to even put?
Yeah, in certain
Making
places.
sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I guess while we are talking about summer, you're going to be busy, but who do you want to see this summer?
Who do I want to see just in general?
No, like, I mean, as far as an artist, do you want to go see a show?
Okay, yeah, I haven't really thought about that yet. I'd like to see Chris Stapleton for sure live. I've not made the trip out to see that man perform live. I'd like to hear his voice in person. So yeah, maybe Chris if he's performing.
Can you take us with you? That'd
Yeah,
be cool.
for sure.
Okay,
I think
great.
he is actually performing. I think he's in full.
He's amazing. He's amazing.
Yeah.
Zayn, thank you so
Swing him.
much.
No worries.